Good evening, I'm Prasad Michael and you're watching KiniNews, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. We start today's episode with the country's latest COVID-19 situation, and it's not looking good. Malaysia reported its second highest figure ever for new COVID-19 cases today, with 260 infections. Health Ministry Director General Dr Noor Hisham Abdullah told a press conference today that from the 260 cases, 259 were local transmissions and one was an imported case.
Jadi perkara tu bukan perkara yang baru, iaitu ketika saya tweet, iaitu daripada hari pertama lagi saya tweet, iaitu sekali lagi saya mengingatkan kepada semua rakyat Malaysia yang tiada urusan penting di luar, dinasihatkan duduk di rumah. Kalau kita nak keluar dari rumah kerana ada urusan penting, patuh kepada SOP. Itulah tujuan utama saya tweet. Itu bukan perkara baru, tapi hanya memperingatkan rakyat Malaysia untuk duduk di rumah.
Most of the locally transmitted cases today were reported in Sabah with 118 cases, followed by Kedah with 98 cases. This is the second highest increase after the 277 cases recorded on June 4th amid the outbreak at the Bukit Jalil immigration detention depot at the time. Meanwhile, 4 new clusters were detected in the country, namely in Selangor, Sabah, Putrajaya and Kedah. Dr Hisham also welcomed Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob's announcement earlier today that inter-district travel in Sabah will be banned beginning October 3rd and hoped it will help contain the spread of COVID-19 in the state. With Sabah being the country's current COVID-19 epicenter, the government will be banning inter-district travel starting this weekend. Starting midnight this Saturday, the government will ban inter-district travel in Sabah following a surge of COVID-19 cases in the state. Senior Minister in charge of Security Matters Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the government has decided to impose a district movement control order across the whole of Sabah that will come into effect on October 3rd at 12:01 a.m. until October 16th. However, Ismail said that essential services like food supply, medical and security will be allowed to make inter-district journeys. He added that throughout this period, individuals who are under quarantine, whose quarantine period expires, will be allowed to return to their respective districts or to Peninsular Malaysia, Sarawak or Labuan. According to official figures, as at 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, there were 888 active COVID-19 cases in Sabah, the highest among all states. Many new cases and clusters detected in Peninsular Malaysia have also been traced back to those travelling back from Sabah. Meanwhile, Sabah Chief Minister AG Mohamed announced that a COVID-19 Disaster Management Committee will be taking over managing the virus outbreak in the state. Thus, the Sabah COVID-19 Command Centre that was established by the previous administration will be abolished. Aside from the formation of a new committee, there was no mention of a new state health minister, despite Sabah being the epicentre of the current COVID-19 outbreak in Malaysia. Would you support someone who arranged for you to receive a royal pardon? But according to Dr Mahathir Mohamad, that wasn't enough to get Anwar's support. Dr Mahathir Mohamad revealed in an interview that Anwar Ibrahim did not support him even after he arranged for the PKR president's royal pardon and release from prison. In an interview with the Malaysia Gazette, the former Prime Minister said Anwar had met a lot of people to rally support, including rulers and foreigners, instead of supporting his premiership. Mahathir and Anwar, who had been political rivals for 2 decades, became allies in Pakatan Harapan to topple the Najib Abdul Razak-led PN coalition from power in the 2018 general election. Following Harapan's victory in the polls, Mahathir kept his word and arranged for Anwar to be pardoned in relation to his sodomy conviction, which the latter has always maintained were based on fabricated charges. Following this, Anwar returned to Parliament as the MP for Port Dickson, and his relationship with Mahathir remained tense over the succession plan. Eventually, Anwar agreed not to set a deadline for Mahathir to step down, but it was too late, as the infamous Sheraton move led to the Harapan administration's collapse in late February after 22 months in office. Mahathir accused Anwar, whom he sacked as Deputy Prime Minister in 1998, of using proxies and instigating protests to oust him. He also accused Anwar of helping cronies amass enormous wealth and specifically mentioned current UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi as one of them. Anwar Ibrahim's claim of having secured a majority will not be discussed by UMNO and PAS next week.
Barisan National Secretary General Anwar Musa said that there was no need for UMNO to discuss the claims by PKR President Anwar Ibrahim that he had majority support in Parliament. He said this in response to a question on whether Mufakat national parties would meet to discuss it. According to Anwar, UMNO and PAS will convene their regular bi-weekly Mufakat national meeting on the 7th of October, but will not specifically discuss the claims.
It's never been discussed within UMNO. At party level, we don't know anything. And I've been asking friends, because I got some list of Mr. So-and-so is now going to support Anwar and things like that. But when I call them, everybody deny. So I'm still quite puzzled with the claims. I even spoke to our president and so on and so forth. Maybe very much at individual level, but certainly not at party level. So party have no intention to discuss.
Anwar added that excessive politicking should be avoided, and it was more important to focus on combating COVID-19 and make sure that the economy continues to grow and recover from the prolonged movement control order.
A party decision. As far as UMNO is concerned, we have made a decision. Anything that we want to do, it will be en bloc, and any negotiation will not. We can negotiate on anything, but no Anwar, no DAP. That's a party decision, and I think that decision still remain until today. Secondly, I think excessive politicking should be avoided. It is a big distraction as far as I am concerned. We must stay focused. State election in Sabah already over. We want them to form the government and focus on delivering what has been promised.
On the 22nd of September, Anwar had announced that he had solid and convincing majority support from MPs to form a new government, and will have an audience with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong soon. BN and UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi had also said that many MPs from his coalition and party have voiced support for Anwar to form a new government. PAS later called on UMNO to explain the matter.
Discontent within UMNO towards its ally Bersatu continues to grow, with UMNO Deputy President Muhammad Hassan prodding his boss Ahmad Zahid Hamidi to do something.
UMNO Deputy President Muhammad Hassan has called on UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi to give guidance and a clear direction to the party and its members on how they are to continue cooperation with their political rivals. This came following the conclusion of the Sabah elections. Muhammad said the outcome of the Sabah election, in which UMNO was denied the Chief Minister post despite being the biggest party in Gabungan Rakyat Sabah, showed that UMNO's alliances were not benefiting the party. He said, from a party that controlled Sabah for 27 years, UMNO is now just an isolated political player in GRS. And besides almost being betrayed on the Sabah cabinet portfolios, UMNO also had to give up some of its strongholds to certain parties during the election. According to Muhammad, if Sabah is to be an example, then UMNO's influence and continuity will continue to be affected, which will weaken the party in the long term. Because of this, he said a firm political consensus was needed to calm the dissatisfaction and anger among party members over how UMNO was treated in the Sabah state election, and added that going forward, UMNO must stop being nostalgic that the political cooperation through the Sheraton move was to save the country. He said that episode has ended, and the next episode is how UMNO can lead the country and create a better future for Malaysia through BN and not any other political platform. He said if UMNO will only work with PAS and BN in the next general election, this must be decided immediately so they can prepare themselves. GRS, which consists of Perikatan Nasional, BN and PBS, had won 38 seats in Saturday's state election, of which 14 were contributed by UMNO. Sabah BN chief Bong Mokhtar Radin was then poised to take the chief minister position, but was reportedly pressured by the other BN assembly persons to back Sabah Bersatu chief Hajiji Noor for the post instead. Bong Mokhtar was instead appointed as a deputy chief minister and was initially given the housing and local government portfolio, but was later put in charge of the works portfolio after some discontent from UMNO.
Former Attorney General Mohamed Apandi Ali is seeking damages. Stay with us to find out why.
Former Attorney General Mohamed Apandi Ali reportedly sent a letter of demand to the Attorney General's chambers yesterday, seeking damages and losses over his termination as AG 2 years ago. He gave the AGC 7 days to respond to his claim, otherwise he would commence legal proceedings. In the letter, Apandi claimed that his termination 2 years ago was unlawful and therefore null and void. He claimed that it was orchestrated by then Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad, and also accused Mahathir of having abused his position in doing so. Apandi is claiming damages for loss of earnings, allowances and benefits entitled to him from July 27, 2018 to July 26, 2021. Several days after the Harapan coalition formed the federal government, after winning the 14th general election on May 9, 2018, the new administration ordered Apandi to go on leave. Mahathir had said that the government could not suspend Apandi since no formal report had been lodged against him. However, he claimed there were numerous complaints against Apandi, including for covering up wrongdoings. Mahathir later proposed Tommy Thomas as the new AG. Thomas resigned as AG on February 28 this year, following the fall of the Pakatan Harapan government.
Coming up next, as cases surge in several countries, a vaccine is showing signs of success. Researchers said that the side effects of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine candidate were roughly on par with high-dose flu shots.
Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine candidate has shown signs of success in older adults. That's according to an early study published in the New England Journal of Medicine on Tuesday, which showed the vaccine produced virus-neutralizing antibodies at levels similar to those seen in younger adults. Researchers said the side effects of the vaccine were roughly on par with high-dose flu shots. The study was an extension of Moderna's Phase 1 safety trial, first conducted in individuals aged 18 to 55. It tested 2 of Moderna's vaccine in 40 adults over the age of 56. Side effects, which included headache, fatigue, body aches, chills and injection site pain, were deemed mainly mild to moderate. In at least 2 cases, however, volunteers had severe reactions. Georgia resident Norman Holm told Reuters he felt compelled to take part in the trial after watching first responders in New York and Washington state fight the virus.
Somebody had to do it, and I'm not making myself like a hero, but I mean, it's important to science that this data is captured. It seemed like a good approach, well thought out approach.
Moderna is already testing the high-dose vaccine in a large Phase 3 trial, the final stage before seeking emergency authorization or approval.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.